see my chat window again. Also, I should probably keep that a little lower so that way you can hear me if I have to say anything over this. I didn't notice how loud this is. That's my fault for switching the music a little while ago. Whoops. Whoops. Whoops, 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 whoops. Alright, so give me just a second here, and I will switch back over to the appropriate thing once I get myself all situated here. Make sure I hear. Oh, hello there, Plastic Alan. You are just like a second earlier or so, basically. How's it going? There is a reason why I haven't switched back over to the correct screen here. Give me just a moment. And there we go. I just wanted to skip over the screens and stuff for this. As you can see, we got nothing really special this time. This, I think, is just like a... yeah... 8% bonus damage against casters, I think, is how that works. Yeah. So, not really a big deal. But as I mentioned before, most of that shit is pretty much incremental. As you can see, I have been making sure to get all my login bonuses. I did a couple of missions of level grinding. I haven't picked stuff up yet, so I can show off what I have. Hello there once again. Because, like, part of what I do when I post this stuff up on YouTube and so on is to sort of give a bit of a complete image of something. And obviously I have to change the definition of that a little bit with this game, but I can at least give you guys this. You can see we get all this stuff from day 3. And for 3 days of logins, we get this this experience card. Day 4... more of the same. Yeah, nice and simple. Oh, nice. You got through that? Nice. I've admittedly been taking the event a little bit slowly over on my main, and obviously on this account, I can't do it at all. But, I'm okay with missing it. The rewards that are missable are not a huge deal. Also, I've just noticed a bunch of messages sitting in my Discord. Give me one moment to go view those after I pick this stuff up. So I'm switching back to the other screen for just a sec. Again, because of how I have to capture this. And that way I don't show any of this stuff to other people, because, you know, who wants to see that? I'm actually going to set this up so that way it shows my, it shows that I'm streaming over here. Let's see if that actually worked. And it did. Okay. Alright, once again, sorry about the holdup. I'm going to switch back over to this now. And we are good to go here. Now I do have something to add here, because I mentioned that we did some level grinding. Oh, nice. That will that'll save me from having to wait until I think Camelot to start getting chains. The problem is that I think he needs spinal fluid to get to Ascension 4, maybe. If not, it's for his skills. But if it's just for his skills, never mind. But we're gonna go ahead and break Mr. Kojiro's level cap over here, because our guy has been pretty good to us. decent quality budget assassin. Again, slightly going with the meme of Sasaki Kojiro, Savior of France. But we'll go ahead and we'll allow him to get to level 30 after a bit of an animation. See him get different art in just a moment. Not much different, but it's something. Ooh, that sounds pretty handy of a skill. Let's go ahead and close that. We're not going to be able to break his level cap again for a little while here. And we can throw some experience cards on someone over here. Oh yeah, I also unlocked this fella down here, Arash, on one of my off days from my free friend point draw. I just wasn't gonna hop on stream immediately. Just be like, hey, I got this guy. Well, we're not gonna see much of him just yet, but later on, yes, we will. This is, Arash is a surprisingly very strong character, considering he's only a 1-star. And we can get a quick look at him. Blah blah. We can buff his NP a little bit here through some of his side quests. Oh, I got a ways to go then. Sheesh. This might have been a slight mistake, but I genuinely like Emiya Alter a lot, so I'm okay with it. All right, so to show this fella off real quick. This first skill doesn't sound terribly impressive. Oh boy, poison resistance. That's incredibly niche. And clairvoyance just gets him better critical star rates. It's not a big deal. This ability, Arrow Construction, lets him charge his meter by a pretty decent-ish chunk. But more importantly is down here. His Noble Phantasm Stella, the Lone Meteor. It is ridiculously powerful, all considered. It has a pretty sizable sounding drawback in that it's a suicide attack. He just explodes after you do it without fail. Unless you give him a guts buff, which is kind of useless. Why? I guess just so that way they could add grind. But we'll see more out of this guy later, especially once we get his NP level maxed out. Because the damage that this does is just absurd, considering, again, completely free character. And just suiciding one of your characters is not a huge deal, because you can just switch somebody else right back to the front, and often they will be better off for that. So, yeah, somebody to look out for. Just not immediately at the beginning of the game, I guess. For now, let's stand on our current levels for the moment. Oh, you got 2. Nice. I tend to just recycle most of my extras so I don't have doubles of anybody on that level. Maybe I should actually, like, accrue multiples of certain characters. But for now, let's get back into the story and keep grinding this out. Unfortunately, we didn't finish this chapter last time because my internet connection was just kind of being like, hey, I don't like you today. And I was just like, why? And she's like, I don't like you today. Oh, okay. That's, you know, if you feel like being like that, okay, I guess. So we'll go ahead and we will... I think we can stick with this party for the moment. Yeah, after the end of the tower, by the way, I'm going to turn on auto here so that way I can just keep talking and I don't feel bad. I'm sure people are going to miss a little bit of the plot, but I'll just say, when I remember to post this on YouTube, then just watch them there and like pause if you have to in order to get all of this. But yeah, we're getting the Valentine's event like right after, you know, the Tower of Terror there, which is something that we will probably be rolling on with this account to get a shot at getting the limited character for that. And then after that, we get Kara no Kyokai, so that's going to be something to look forward to for anybody out there who is more of a fan of other type Moon stuff. And also, actually, I'm feeling like, why would I bother rolling for Semiramis? Because we'll just get a better assassin for the event, basically. Or at least we'll get an extremely good one. Ryogi Shiki is kind of considered to be one of the 3 best of the event freebie characters, alongside Kintoki and alongside Kintoki and like somebody else, and I forget who. Either way, a very, very solid character that I will be glad to be able to get on my actual account and to actually show this. Well, Kara no Kyokai is supposed to be coming out pretty soon, like inside of February. So yeah. As far as I know, anyway. So the odds are that, like, the timing on that is kind of bad. I don't really think it's a good idea to be like, hey, we're going to put a banner with this really interesting looking character of this class right next to, hey, here's a freebie of this class that is completely sickening. But, you know, maybe that's just me. Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on back to back, and that can be kind of draining, to say the least. Alright. This took a lot longer than I thought it would for this one wave here. Drug. Yeah, the tower is definitely quite slow. The big upside, though, is that, at least when I was going through the early floors, they were giving out a good amount of experience. So I managed to go in and level up a couple of characters and upgrade some people on my main. I got Charles Babbage to 60 from like nothing, so that's a pretty decent chunk. And he's been quite serviceable throughout, so I will gladly accept that. I actually just did both of his interludes before I came on the stream. I was just like, yeah, I'll go ahead and give him these upgrades. He's pretty good, all considered, for a 3-star caster. And I needed more of I needed more of them that were able to do damage. Oh god, shit, I forgot about that. He has like random dodges too, doesn't he? Is that what I remember? I did read ahead a little bit about this, and I'm just like, this random dodge thing sounds like bullshit. It sounds so bad. Plus, I remember him being... Oh, geez, that doesn't sound nice. I don't think I have a whole lot of people who can do, Oh, oof, oof. I don't think I have a whole lot of people who can give themselves sure hit very easily. I think one of the Mystic Codes does have piercing vulnerability though, which is that will possibly do the trick unless it ignores that. I also remember Babbage just being really annoying to fight as an enemy in missions. Like, I saw him in a quest a while ago, and he sat there using his invincibility buff on himself like 3 turns in a row, and I was just like, I'm not gonna do this! I think that literally the only thing I had at the time to get through invincibility on that would have been to just dump Kiara's Noble Phantasm on him. I wasn't gonna do that. It was a waste because there was more to deal with still. And I was just like, no, stop this, please. I don't hate myself this much, please. Yeah. He's like one of the many characters who just gets several times worse to fight against in quests just by virtue of the ridiculous things that he can do. There's one that's rather infamous from very early on in the game's history. During the event where you got Nobunaga, one of the quests, the quest that was all assassins, had Matahari as a boss at the end, and she could just keep you locked very easily. And, like, she couldn't kill you or anything, pretty much, because... but it was the most annoying quest possible. It's like, oh, wow, I'm glad you aren't scoring me on how fast I go, otherwise I would have failed 10 times. There's definitely a couple others out there that are similarly irritating. Oh, yeah, because I just fought Shuten Doji recently. She is the worst. I'm pretty sure one turn she's just like, I'm just gonna flex on you and do the charm and debuff thing 3 times in a turn, and I'm just like, okay, now you're just being rude, game. And it was extremely unfortunate. I must admit I was not happy with that, but that fight ended up not being too hard because, well, I mean, even in the second phase, it's just like, oh, it's 2 health meters that are basically the same size, and it's less than 100,000 total. If I remember how that... No, sorry, my bad. I'm thinking less than 1 million total. Either way, remarkably easy boss, and it sounds kind of silly at this point for me to be like, hey, less than 1 million is just a joke, but later on we're going to see that it'll get to that point. Well, that's definitely a pretty big deal. That is very nice. That's the thing I've got to look forward to then, and I can switch back at the end to just being like, hey, I'm going to solo these floors instead of occasionally having to do dual carries. Caesar, no, I need to level him up more. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on dropping Wickerman on here. That's pretty great. That is always a good time. I mean, granted, he can just end people's... He just ends anyone's life immediately, except for, like, at this juncture, 2 characters? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Plus he has the 2 not time-restricted dodges, so even after that, it's like, well... Have fun trying to hit this. Right, that's not going to do a ton of damage, but it will set a nice long burn and a defense down. Like, this guy would be pretty good if not for, like, 2 things? Let's do this smarter. And I will get around to explaining those two things at the end of this, if I remember correctly. If I remember to, rather. And I probably will forget. Alright, our max AP is up to 40, so now we can take on the highest level of all of those level grinding quests. That is a pretty big milestone. Or a millstone, you could say, if you're a little silly, which I am, so I probably will say it again later. Alright, so we've got rider enemies only. Oh yeah. Everybody has Uzetian, who I have bad feelings about. Swap in you, and we can give you that, and actually I'll put Mosh on the front line so that way we can have more defense. We're gonna be dealing with just dragons here. Getting 2 crits on 10% each is pretty nice. Oh, speaking of Martha, here we are. She is very, very confused right now. But apparently, at least reasonably lucid enough to tell us what's going on, at least in as much as we can actually deal with. I forgot if we I actually forgot that we really even encountered her in this storyline, that she didn't just disappear immediately. Alright, it seems sounds like she's got some backup here from her pet dragon Tarask. You might have noticed by now, but there is definitely a dragon theme going on throughout the servants that we are fighting in this singularity. Well, like dragons and vampires, basically, because Dracula isn't really associated with a dragon himself too much, aside from the name sounding a little bit like it. And Carmilla was originally Elizabeth Bathory, so she's also, like, dragon associated. So, yeah, there you go. That will get everybody up to speed if they can understand anything I say through my, my amazing level of mushmouth in this here. How do I... I'm not even, God, how do I speak while I'm on stream? Alright. Buddy, you get in there. Take down the one with the crit buff. Speaking while streaming is literally impossible. I feel that your word is one that I can take on this, Alan, because you're somebody that I've known for a while there and have seen stream, and somehow you pull it off, so that's cool. And how is it going, Fire Drake, as your username says, TV? How's it going, buddy? Yeah, we've got a nice chunk of Alan's crew coming in and probably going after they hear me trying to talk. Alright, so once we get rid of this dragon, we'll be moving on to the boss here. She's not going to be backed up by one of those really big dragons, is she? No, she's just got a couple of little standard wyverns with. Alright, we're gonna... Well, first of all, I'm going to remember to do this, damn it. And second of all, we are going to focus our attention on St. Martha here and try to clear her out first. Oh, oof. Oof, I'm sorry, Fire Drake, about your luck there. That is quite unfortunate. I hope it'll be over soon. And hopefully you have less frustrating days in the future. Alright. We're getting some work done here, though. This is... I don't even think St. Martha will bust out her heal all ability if you let her, or even her defense down effect, which is a good thing for us because the less of that bullpucky we have to deal with, the better. I forget, are you single target? Of course. I'm not sure why I expected otherwise, but let's go ahead and bust out Swallow Reversal here. I believe we call that spitting, but I don't want to judge this man. He looks like he could. He looks like he knows how to use that sword. Yeah, that definitely seems like he knows what he's doing here. Alright, can we finish this last one off in one little combo here? Oh, nice. Very nice. That's some good times. Nice, easy boss fight. It almost feels like the other quests were more of a pain. But on the other hand, I was not as well leveled for those as I was for this. So, yeah, we can go ahead and move on now. And we've taken on a decent chunk of these folks here. I don't believe this storyline is too long. Okay, what's the deal? All right. Okay, I think I forget if I'm pretty sure that the Dragon Slayer mentioned in this is supposed to be Siegfried, right? On the other hand, I don't remember. It has been quite a long time since I've been through most of these storylines, and in fact, the main thing that I remember from them is the psychological trauma associated with those bosses from the Camelot Singularity. It's gonna kind of suck doing those because I am absolutely confident that I'm going to lack a few things that are considered to be very, very important for dealing with those. But that at this point is months away. We're gonna be doing stuff for a while before we get there. Don't even put those into your minds, folks. And instead, let us make our way down this way. And once again, are going to switch things up here. We don't need you up there. Remove that, and we will equip... Yeah, actually, we'll equip that to Julius Caesar on the off chance that he gets a chance to use his big thing. Speaking of which, I do have some upgrades to hand out after this quest. I think we drew our 4th Asterios card today. We're probably not going to use him a ton in terms of the like using him, but I'll get to talk about him and be like, hey, he seems like he'd be interesting if I could make him work better, especially with certain characters, but we'll get there. Alright, buddy. Anyone out there ever see the gif of that guy with his eyes just sort of, like, rolling in a really stupid way? I'll see if I can find that later on. Just throw that up on top of my layout so you can have... That way you can have his eyes doing dumb shit. A character that we probably will never even get a chance to draw, let alone use. Anime was a mistake. Yeah, we've heard this speech before. Are you supposed to take that design seriously? I'm... Oof. I don't think so. Like, at times... Oh, hey, we get a couple new guys here. We got Berserker Lancelot, and we've got Charles-Henri Sanson. Hey, what is up, Pretzel25, if I'm remembering that username. Keep in mind, I gotta squint to see my own chat box, because I am a fool. As far as that design goes, I am going to say that we are supposed to take it seriously, but you kind of can't. Because, like, definitely one of the things about this franchise is that even though it is, frankly, some of the most clownish shit ever, and we will see a lot of reasons why I say things like that, and we can actually kind of already get a little bit of it because of the amount of self-reference and callbacks, and I mean, we already have Emiya as a character, and literally that's just another character in the franchise. It is one of those things where I feel like it cannot possibly be taken seriously. There's this sort of meme inside of the Fate fandom that the jokes are the real lore, and I think that is something that they kind of do lean into a little bit, but they try to not make it obvious, basically, and then you see some of the names in the events. I'd say half joke is about right, but personally, I try very hard to not take any of this seriously in any sort of, like, big, deep way. Like, there's some semblance of real weight to, like, Chrono Trigger or anything like that. Hello there, everybody. And, you know, like, a lot of the other classic JRPGs, like the Final Fantasy games, even through the comedy in something like 5 or 6, Final Fantasy 5 or 6, you're supposed to take it a little bit seriously. This is just kind of fucking impossible, though, with a lot of things. So I'd like to hope that they don't, like, require you to be serious or anything. I hope that it's not the case that, like, Nasu and Takeuchi are, like, kept awake at night by the fact that people like me think that this is the most ludicrous cornball shit ever. And hello there. Hi, Tev. I was explaining to people how it's very hard to take this seriously. And, I mean, on top of that, we have Edison, who's basically just a lion fursuit. The Eevee loading bar. Yeah, pretty much. It basically is Eevee. It's low budget Eevee. And absolutely, up to a point, this series does rely very heavily on, like, cool factor. Eevee isn't already low budget? Ooh, ouch. Alan, your wife is here. You're gonna get the shit kicked out of you. Oh, boy. Not literally, obviously, but, you know, it's... Yeah, watch your mouth indeed. Although I will admit that I do think that, like, evolutions are kind of like some of the easiest of the, hey, let's add these new Pokemon in. I mean, like, there's some layers to that. Just first gen is low budget. I mean, in its way, it still has its charm for that. Wait. Do things this way. Yeah, it's... As I say, I say it's easy. I don't want it to sound like I'm insulting them or anything, but it's kind of like the quick way out of stuff like that. Like, oh, we need Pokemon of these types. Let's make new Eevee evolutions with slightly gimmicky, slightly gimmicky evolutions that they regret later, but... Oh, I think the vast majority of us regret the sheer arcanery that came out of, various Pokemon evolutions there. Alright, give me just a second here to go and double check that I can actually do some upgrading here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Alright, here we go. Alright, so we can go ahead and upgrade you to this one. Rockruff is rock type Eevee, pretty much. Yeah, so we got Asterios here to level 4 out of 5 on this. You can see that those costs are going up. This is not exactly the cheapest thing ever. Let's take a moment to actually get a quick look. A quick look at this. You can see it. This is pretty good sounding, right? Attack and defense debuff for 6 turns, which is a really awkward number. that's pretty solid, but you also got to remember, let's see if I can't pull up his full card here. Yeah. So, first of all, it's an arts type, which is fine by itself, but his deck is not suited to generating any meter at all. And his attacks don't do very many hits or anything like that, so... So basically, like, the thing that you would want to do with this is you would want to keep using it to sustain it or even to make it, stronger. But it's very hard to do that. Don't knock it till you try it. Pretty much. Yeah, that guy over there, Asterios, is, the Minotaur. The Bull of Minos. The Minotaur himself. Just under the name that it was actually known as before he became just the Minotaur. So, I don't know how much it explains about the BDSM look, but it does explain the bull motifs. And oh my god, I feel like I was gonna add something else, but I got caught up in the Eevee discussion. That became quite long and little odd. I think I was talking about like how it's kind of impossible to take this seriously. Well, I mean, I'm not even gonna complain about it. It was a worthy discussion. Eevees are pretty alright. Oh, right. Yeah. I was saying that it's really hard to take a lot of things in this series very seriously. And that a lot of this series does kind of rely very heavily on, oh, wouldn't this be cool? As opposed to, does this make sense? So, for example, I'll point at him again once we get into battle here. You can see, of course, that Mr. Hood over here is the caster form of Cuchulainn, who is an Irish hero from... I almost said an Irish hero from Irish mythology. That's a little bit obvious, right? But, like, Irish folk tales, he's the most memorable out of heroic characters from that, for sure. But the thing is that you don't really get a good chance to see this unless I start using his skills, which I haven't had a good reason to use his one skill, which just buffs his critical hit damage. But, like, he draws stuff in very Nordic runes, as opposed to he should be using, like, Celtic runes for stuff like that, right? Because he's of a Celtic background. And while the smart response to that is, don't worry about it, and, you know, don't worry about it, there were people who were very, very annoyed with it, and then the creators of the series came around and they gave an explanation that is like a huge pull things out of your ass moment. Like, well, yeah, people take this series way too seriously, so of course they are. But the creators were like, oh, well, the Nordic runes are faster, so they're more suited for frontline combat, and Skahak taught him magic using those because he fights on the front lines because he's more famous as the spear guy. And it's like, shut the fuck up. You just made that up. You can just say they looked cooler or they were more recognizable and it would be fine. But instead you've just said this whole other thing that, like, it actually makes one of my friends incredibly mad. Like, just dizzyingly pissed off. And I do kind of get it because it's incredibly stupid. As you can tell from me continuing to be like, hey, that's stupid. Wow, who would have guessed? I feel like I'm really insulting you guys today. Sincere apologies to anybody who came here not expecting to be insulted. Alright. I don't think I've had a chance to show this off yet. You're gonna see this man fucking move. Hey, look at him go. Usually I think that's even faster. I think I have the animations on slow. At least you're not insulted. Well, thank you. Thank you for understanding, at least, and not being insulted. On a big guy there? Yeah, that's it's a little unexpected, I'll say that. Alright, so I'm pretty sure these next few quests are basically just all going to be the same thing over and over again. And above all else, I do like the look on his face. He looks like, I don't feel like being here. And you know what? I can understand that. I know what story arc he debuts in. I wouldn't want to be there either. That's a bit of an impetus to watch more of this. Alright, let's keep doing things in a nice and simple way. Okay, that was actually kind of impressive. I don't think I've ever seen that attack before. Or if I have, I've just not paid attention to it. Guys, imagine paying attention to this series. Like, can you even? Let's take the quality like Bad Mojo. Dude, Bad Mojo is fucking awesome. What are you talking about? My god. First of all, I love the audacity of someone to have made a game where you play as a cockroach. And second of all, the fact that they actually made it, like, good and the story is kind of sad. And also that just stars bootleg Jim Carrey, except that said bootleg Jim Carrey is actually, like, a legit actor. I know that kind of sounds like I just said that Jim Carrey wasn't a legit actor, but I mean, the fact that this guy who showed up in an FMV from a game from the 90s is actually like a character in Sense 8. That's kind of cool in a way. And also the fact that the game is legitimately good. I feel like a lot of people just do not give 90s adventure games the time of day in any way. So that's like... There's double points. Oh my god. The fact that you're out here remembering this nerd shit is kind of impressive to have. But also, like... it's at least as good as a visual novel. Hey! As much as I have fun with this game, I am enjoying all the bagging that we're engaging in here. Because, as I've said, very hard to take seriously. And on the other hand, I hope somebody comes through and is, like, really insulted by me saying that. Like, how dare you? And I'll just be like, you know, you're not wrong, but also, come on, dude. Come on. Alright, things are changing up a little bit, so I've got a feeling that our katana friend is going to want to come out at some point soon and bring some pain. Oh, don't be silly, Mozart. You couldn't do shit to these guys. You wouldn't even chip the paint on these fuckers, buddy. You Alright, so this is looking pretty simple. Get my crit generation going. Whoops. Alright. And throw down our quick cards. We should get some good crits this turn. 26, that basically hashes out to roughly a 50% chance of landing crits. So I will accept that. Plus, I mean, that hand, that's just a skill on the stick. Unfortunately, we don't have any sort of ability that's just like, hey, let me just lock this hand for a while. There is one character who can do that who isn't even out yet in the English version of this, which is quite unfortunate. That would be a very useful skill to have. But, whatever. Just tear this fucker out. This shouldn't be too hard, I think. Just very drawn out. But at this point, anything about this series being drawn out, I don't know. That's... Alright, so... Aw, damn, we didn't get rid of him. I was hoping to just carry that over to the next fight, but... By next fight, I mean the next page of enemies, but... You know, it is what it is. Alright. Yeah, and that's why I wanted all those crits, because then I could actually sort of do damage to these guys. I wish I had a way to, right now, to just switch units up in the back of my party. I actually could probably go and... Like, there's an available skill set that I can use to do that with, and probably just... I could probably just go do it now if I wanted to, because I have enough AP that I'm allowed to enter it. Enough max AP, rather. But I feel like I should hold off on that until I'm not just sitting here relying entirely on... Oh boy, I forgot my words. I'd rather not just rely on random support, basically, or support from people that I've added for this run through specifically in order to do that. Yeah, I was expecting him to go down a lot faster than that, but he somehow held on for a moment. Alright. We're gonna get to get a look at the big bull here for a moment, who has no levels, but I will probably level him up at some point, because I mean, I like him. He's kind of adorable once the mask comes off of him. It's just that he has a lot of trouble talking, so he screams a lot. Big screamy sheep man. Alright. I think we can just do fake mind's eye here. This. I don't need to bother with that because I'll just do that. This is more than a little bit unnecessary, I realize, but why not? Let's go ahead and just do things this way. Yeah, sadly not another full meter. We don't get to see it. We don't get to see him do his thing again. And you can see he's coming along in terms of those bond levels. I swear that eventually those will start to pay off. It's just gonna take a while. And I do mean a while. Alright. Okay, we've got Assassin of the... Encountering someone again here? Put this guy in. And... oh, we're over cost, are we? Shit, well... yeah, by 5. Wow. Oof. Guess we're taking that off entirely. And let's just roll from here. See what we've got going on. No time for that. Hey, it's this guy. There's some nasty ass claws that he's got going on. Like, they just kind of look like blood covered skin. The Phantom of the Opera. He's, like, I know that that's supposed to be, like, some sort of metallic mask thing. With sort of a skull look to it, but it all looks like bandages because it's the same color as the rest of the mask. Also, check out his cravat. He's got a cravat. I like cravats, that's all. I also just like saying it. It's very, it sounds particularly silly in a very specific way that's very amusing. Also, you know, Edgeworth, whose first name I remember there, Miles. Miles Edgeworth. Oh yeah? It's rare to see that anymore. Although company holiday party, yeah. I wasn't sure where that entire explanation was going. Let me pick these cards in the correct order, please, Self. There we go. I don't think we're taking this guy down. Oh, never mind. Alright, that should help push us to that third wave a little more easily. Oh yeah. Showing up like Liberace, wow. that is a description, is all I can say for sure. Also, that raggedy ass cape, I thought it was something different for a second, like Phantom back there had something in his shadow that was like overarching behind him, like it was gonna rear up and eat us or something. Oh, we're getting some good damage in here. That charm is kind of unfortunate though. But I think we can push a little more damage in here to get the big guy off the field as fast as possible. I'm sincerely hoping for some bewilderment there, is all I can say. Is all I can say, buddy. Just, like, what? Although, you know, shoutouts to somebody who's that big of a deal in a company who doesn't like ties. That's a little different here. Alright. Can we, I'm pretty sure we've got this guy's number this turn. Which is good because otherwise, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, if we hadn't managed to pull that off, everybody on the front line would be getting hit by Phantom's big attack there, and that would probably not be a great time for anybody involved because enemies using area of effect attacks still hurts really bad. As a general rule for damage output, you want single target NPs, like if you set aside class or anything like that, Caesar is probably going to do more damage most of the time than Casterku will. But also, you know, the upside is that blue man over there hits everybody. The enemies don't usually seem to have that sort of distinction when it comes to damage that they deal with their big super attacks. It just hurts no matter who you are. Right. Let's go for it. Let's knock this guy out. I'm pretty sure that this will do a lot of... There you go. Give it to him. Yeah, over 7,000. That's pretty solid. I also see I dropped a reasonable chunk of frames in the middle there. That sucks. Way to go there, internet connection. At some point, I really do need to just get a cable up here or something. Excuse me. Yeah, okay, buddy. This is, that's not how this works. Zephyrium coming in, dropping the old nut takeout. I definitely need to... I feel like I need to link that more places just so things that way people can see my sense of humor of a 10-year-old there with the nut takeout. Oh, we got something big coming in. That's not nice. Stick camp, the world's a big place. Nice. All right. Yeah, we're a little stuck here. I have a feeling that this is what we call Hobson's choice. Choice where no matter what we do, the outcome is going to be the same. Actually, in particular, I think it would be more Morton's Fork, where it's a choice with no real difference and you get screwed either way. It's like the trolley problem, except somebody in the trolley has a machine gun, and they're gonna tear up whoever's lives you save. Wait. God. Fucking trolley problem, I swear. Did I show anyone in here that meme where it's the trolley problem and then underneath it, it's the multi-track drifting meme? That thing is way funnier than it has any right to be. Oh boy, I don't like where this is going because that type of enemy sucks an entire butt. I had something I wanted to do between missions here, didn't I? I forget what it was. Okay, well, it's good. I believe our cube shopping options have rolled over. I'm gonna double check that. Yeah. Okay, note to self, pick those up on my main at when I switch back over to that later. I could try leveling some people up, I guess. What am I sitting on here? I don't have any, like, caster experience cards. That's unfortunate. I guess I could just feed him some of the old other classes here. I'll give him these. We don't really have impressive options for writers at the moment. So that's not a huge issue for me. Besides, it's not like we can't just get more of these later on off stream. Can I give anything else to guy? I'll give him the rest of my junk, I guess. Let's get you a little higher up here. Yeah, we can get him to 22. That's decent. That's tolerable. Oh, we can also get some great RNG there and get a super success for our guy. You just see anime Iceman. I like it. On the other hand, he just sets everything on fire. Hello there. Trying to squint at that username. Sorry, my chat display is tiny as on my thing here. I believe that says Kelraiser. Hello there. How is it going? You're gonna do stuff like this. Alright, you go up to the front. And Emiya Alter can hang out up there as well, because he's pretty strong. You started just last week and you're trying to level up for the story. I've been playing this game for a while, but I've only just started... Oh, hi, Siegfried. I started up a playthrough on an alternate account for the purposes of streaming it. So, yeah. That's all I got for now. As you can see, I'm not very deep into the story yet, at least not on this. Alright, that's a big old lizard here. Having not such a good old time. This. What you say? We're going as a team, folks. This is not going to be a terribly fun fight, I'll say that. Oh, oof. That is extremely unfortunate. So you've been through this. You've definitely been through this before then. I haven't played in the Japanese version, but I know a lot of people who do. So I've got a lot of people who are like helping inform me a little bit about what I should do with things. And admittedly, I'm just kind of listening to a lot of that and just being like, well, I'll do whatever sounds interesting. Oh, I think he's toast already. That's unfortunate. That's definitely a thing that can happen quite easily because of how luck heavy getting good characters is. There's a little bit of timing involved, obviously, to reasons of getting certain limited characters. Still sad about the fact that First Hassan is just straight up not going to be available for 2 years. Like, I'm very sad about that. That's one of the main things that one of the main characters I really wanted to get, and I didn't get him, so. Therefore, gonna be sitting here for a while waiting to get him. Oh, that's pretty nice. That is very solid. I got Raiko recently, but I haven't raised her yet. I need to, like, remember to do that. I need to, like, block out a bunch of experience cards for the purposes of doing that. I've been spending most of the stuff from the Setsuban Tower event on my main on raising up a lot of the other lower level characters that I have that will peak more cheaply, I guess, for lack of a better term. So that way I can have more units to fight through that with. And it turns out to have mostly helped too, so yeah. This is just reminding me how many characters I have to actually do stuff with that. As I'm sitting over here like, oh man, the Cardinal Kyokai event is coming up soon. I hope I can roll another Void Shiki so that way I can have that NP2. No, I should actually work on the characters I have. Aside from, you know, before worrying about rolling other stuff. Well, again, that is a character, I guess, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? I don't. However, I am glad you got good new stuff when you got a chance to restart. Although it still sucks to drop your thing and lose all your stuff. That's never a good time. Plus, on top of that, there's the whole issue of placing the phone and everything. Oh, well, fair enough. If it worked out, it worked out. You know? I guess you do! Let's try doing it this way. I might be able to squeeze out just enough damage here. Well, but Jiro got a full meter, so that's something that I can save into Battle 3 there. Maybe I should remember to do this, too. That seems like it would be a good idea. Got some pretty decent amount of crits going here from that last turn. Oh, we're coming in here on 24. That is solid. And I was fully expecting the big dragon to show up here, but I was wrong. Alright, let's try doing this. We gain 5 stars out of it. That's not a ton, the way Skill seems to advertise, but it is only level 1, so I guess that's bound to happen. Get out of here. Yep, 51, so we are guaranteed crits on everybody this turn. We're gonna do this in case I have never shown this off.
Lost one.
That is still really cool and really messed up looking. I'm just out here being so salty about that. Yeah, there's a lot of lore that I'd have to explain behind that guy, wouldn't I? I think Alan likes I said earlier that it was basically you, and I feel like you kind of approve of that. And yeah, getting certain materials is absolutely a pain. I completely understand that over there. Oh boy. We're gonna be dealing with a lot of the same thing here. But I definitely need to remember to set the speed of those animations to be a little bit faster. Because there's a way to do that. Oh god, fuck those things. The ghost lanterns are just the absolute worst. I'm quite convinced that those are some of the worst things to pick up in the entire game. And I say this having been stonewalled on bones for a couple of characters. Like, I still don't think I have enough bones on my main to finish maxing out Billy the Kid's skills. Which is unfortunate, because I really like him. Kill lanterns, wait for them to take vengeance for a skit. This is a smart strategy. I wish it worked. Wait, no. I gotta remember to do this a slightly smarter way. Oh, that's a shame, because there's a lot of stuff to get from that event. There's a lot of stuff to get from that event, for sure. I mean, it could be worse. But it's a lot of nice extras. It is letting me get hold of a couple of materials that I can't access yet. Like, so right now, storyline-wise, I'm just inside of Shimosa. I've just had the duel between the duel against Inshun, and oh my god, that was remarkably that fight was remarkably shitty. I've heard that it only gets harder from there, so that makes me feel real good. But there's definitely some stuff that I cannot get yet inside of the main story, because they just keep adding new stuff with all the new storylines. And yeah, I really hope that my quality is not going down too badly here, because I am seeing that I am dropping a very unfortunate number of frames. I'm not sure what my internet is drinking right now, but it needs to stop that. Like, is it having a moment here of being like, oh, why do I gotta carry this for people? To which I would say, well, you should probably blame the fella in here who's got the name in red. Also, yes, I didn't even respond to the fact that Valentine is in 2 days. The Valentine event is in 2 days. I'll do a little bit of that on stream. I don't know how much, but that definitely is something that is I'm very grateful for that coming up soon, because again, you can get some shit out of that. I sincerely hope that I'm sitting here trying to remember what the last one was like offhand. Like, what did we get out of that? Aside from just the special CEs. If there were, like, other useful items. I'm really making myself sound less knowledgeable than I am. My memory is just extremely bad. I don't always remember things too good, to say the least. My memory is extremely bad. I just don't remember things too good. Yeah, I'm doing a great job here. Doing a great job at this. But yes, I know that that's a thing. The Kara no Kyokai event should be not long after that, which you should be very, very capable of participating in. If you are lacking a strong assassin, there's a freebie there that you can pick up and raise pretty hard, all the way up to NP5 pretty much for free, except with some grinding. There's definitely going to be some good materials. I know that much. I've been informed of that much, and wow, yeah. If you don't have Shiki Ryogi already, which I guess you restarted relatively recently, so you probably wouldn't, then she's generally considered pretty high tier, especially as far as freebies go. So that's definitely a nice get no matter what. Alright, so for the first time in a while, I am switching over to a non-story support here to help deal with what is no doubt gonna be some nasty, nasty business here. Alright, we got a couple of these nerds here. I already introduced these two, Sanson and Lancelot. Well, I mean, that's already, like, got a pretty decent set there for sure, so yeah, Shiki Ryogi is going to be a nice help, and Yuriala is someone I had a very serious problem actually getting hold of for this, for use in the story, which is unfortunate because she is just Camelot MVP, so yeah. Okita is pretty solid as quick sabers go. She has very good damage output, so that's definitely someone worth rolling for. That's as much as I can say for sure. Good for well, as you would well know, having played the Japanese version already. Oh, that's a pain. But as you would know already, quick servants are going to get a pretty decent buff inside of... And by a pretty decent buff, I mean a pretty decent support. Can my internet please calm the fuck down? What is wrong with it? God, it's almost bad that you're able to see that in OBS, because now I just notice it and it bugs me so badly. I don't know why it's acting up. But I will take a few minutes after this to see if I can do anything about it. Oh, that's definitely very unfortunate that, like, especially because David is pretty alright too. He's got some pretty useful support skills. But it's just sort of like, well, I definitely would be annoyed is what I'm trying to say. Oh, come on, man. You can take care of that.
Shochu. Shochu. Osoi na. Shochu.
Alright, let's see the last enemy we face in this area here. Oh, we've got both of them at once. Sansong kind of looks like that guy from Danganronpa. You know the one. The, yeah, I ended up picking Emiya Alter as my... Oh, he's got a heal. That's a pain. I picked Emiya Alter as my freebie from the ticket. Yeah, doesn't he? He looks like... He kind of looks like Komida, right? But yeah, I picked this guy. Yeah, he does kind of look a little bit like Hajime as well, you're right. There's definitely like characters who look more like there's definitely characters who look more like Danganronpa characters. There's shit, Edmond Dante's it? I'm absolutely not pronouncing that name correctly because he's the guy from the Count of Monte Cristo, and that's the French novel. But he basically does just kind of look like Komida, but in a trench coat. Because the guy who drew that character and a couple of other characters in the game is literally just the artist from Danganronpa. I don't know if that's the same guy who drew Chuck over here, but I don't remember. Wow, good work, me. Doing real good at this. I just saw my internet connection hit 0 kilobytes per second on that stream, so my connection is just straight up dying right now. That's a big, big problem. Let's let this play out here, and I feel like it's probably just my connection to... Never mind, there's a little bit of choke over here too. But I haven't had, like, middle of mission connection died. You're not even looking, that's fine. Give me just a second to throw up this intermission screen, and I guess... Yeah, throw up the intermission screen for a moment. I took one of the free draws while I was over here. Yeah, and by free draws I mean well, they cost me friend points, but whatever. I rolled the friend point thing, and we got a new character. We got Blackbeard, who I'm not going to use a whole lot of. He looks quite ill. Oh wow, that's that's a description. Mostly, I'm just thinking he looks like kind of ill and skinny, like, you know, like most pirates actually would, come to think of it. But Blackbeard is pretty mimetic for a lot of reasons, so we didn't get to see a good look at it. But when we actually encounter him in the story, we'll definitely see him being someone who is memed upon by a lot of the fan base. However, your description is much better. You nerds can't tell that she's wearing a not black outfit. This is sort of this plot point that comes up in a lot of things like this that always bothers me, because it's like, you guys can't tell the difference between, like, this literally relies on the entire population of this area being colorblind as a plot point. I'm not the only one who feels like that is what it's doing, right? And feels like it's really dumb. Good question. Yeah. Alright, so what are we fighting here? Are we fighting that nerd? Oh hey, it's that guy who we've seen another version of earlier, actually. Yeah, it's Saber Jitare as the younger version, when he actually was like a supporter of Joan of Arc before he went completely mental after she died. Like that, like, he's one of the more famous French serial killers, and he had quite a story there. Inspired the tale of Bluebeard, even though that was quite different from what he did. He wasn't like killing anybody's wife or anything. Ultimately, it's a little strange how that all hashes out, but the world is quite strange. All right, let's fight Insano Lancelot here, who's, as we mentioned, this is the Berserker form of Lancelot from... This is the version of him that shows up in Fate Zero, I believe. So yeah, this series is like throwing back to characters from the old rest of the franchise, as we no doubt noticed already. At 48,000 health, I probably should have brought in a non-story support here for the sake of making this easier. But I think we can pull this off. It shouldn't be too hard. I hope. It just makes horrible, angry robot noises. Again, set that up first turn, dipshit. Alright. Let's get in here and start carving this guy's face up a little bit. Bullets. Can you not? No, no, he can't not. What a jerk. Alright, let's keep clobbering this guy. I think we've got enough time here. He may not. We may have to restart this one because ooh, ouch. That's all I can say here. Actually, I'm going to throw on bulletproof here and get our 3 defense ups and damage cuts. God damn, he just does not stop, does he? Alright, oh, I was hoping for that guaranteed crit there. Well. Oh no, Asterios, who was mostly just there to gain points anyway. 1,000 health, this better be able to be taken down this turn, otherwise I'm gonna feel like a complete idiot. Alright. There we go. That was fairly close because, again, robot guy over there has a has an area of effect, Noble Phantasm. We were dead if that went off. Also, in particular, it is in reference to a scene in Fate Zero. He just busts out a big Gatling gun. So he basically ends up looking like the Proto Man from the Proto Men's first album. Oh wow, the Berserker who can talk properly. Interesting. This is probably supposed to be a little more shocking when you first see it in plot, even though we've already discussed the fact that Asterios can speak. What's going on here? Well, also there's the plot point. It's very similar, again, if you remember the fact that the original Saber from the original Fate Stay Night is also Arthur, is Artoria, is the King Arthur. And Jeanne, when she showed up first in the franchise, had an extremely similar face to her, which is something that kind of gets memed on. There's also that part. As I say, this is kind of why it's like jokes of the real lore, that there it is a little bit, because people were memeing on the fact that Takeuchi's character design variety was a little bit slim. And in fact, I think that it literally ended up becoming a plot point in Fate Zero, although my timeline on that might be a little bit funky. And again, I am dropping so many frames. It's a little bit disgusting. I'm kind of sick of dealing with this at night. I don't like this. my connection to... My connection to... Might just be my connection to, Twitch. Hope it's not. Alright, so we're back on the normal train here of seeing this stuff again. We're gonna do this little switch around here. And oh wow, I had the wrong thing equipped to Kojiro for a long time there. That's incredibly smart of me. Good job. I can't believe I can't believe I got away with any of this, but this part of the game is super, super easy. By all means, I should be able to get away with it. If you're gonna be allowed to screw up anywhere, it better be at the beginning of the game, right? Oh, I think something is going on with his arm situation. Well, yeah, because I guess regular techniques of medicine wouldn't. A dragon turtle. I've played Pokemon, those definitely existed. Yeah, so we got into a fight with Martha. And indeed, it's quite understandable for the whole same aura as Jean thing, because Martha is available as a ruler class servant over the summer. And again, that may be somebody we try to get on this, just because that's a really, really good character to pick up for a lot of reasons. Well, to the counter force, that's a thing that we are just hearing about in story for the first time. I mean, we probably could, but plot exists, so I don't think that that's a thing that they're gonna let us do. Alright, I guess we're getting into a fight now. It appears that this group is just never able to even start in any sort of discussion of any kind whatsoever. Otherwise, they just get ambushed immediately. We got some pretty simple stuff going on here. Sweep these up pretty quickly. With a lot of fastness. Alright. D2 turns, nice and quick. Then we get this setup, which is a little slower for us to deal with.
甘い。
They're not giving us a whole lot here to work with. Granted, it's because I don't have an archer in my team at all. I tend to think more, I'd rather have characters that deal and receive neutral damage than anybody who could take bonus damage from an enemy. Unless I'm just sweeping a fight with berserkers really fast. In which case, well, get in, get out, right?
任せとけ。いく。任せとけ。
Alright, so Gino here should be able to take out this one enemy. Or at least get pretty close. I'll take getting pretty close at this point. That's a decent effort that he put forward.
とっておきをくれてや。ああ。
Alright, we are... By the way, I feel like we're seeing a lot of that particular ability. And I'm quite okay with that. Right, that last one takes bonus damage from Caesar. Oh, nice crit, buddy. Nice. Nice. What a solid blow there. Oh, I just now really realized that smoke coming off of Gojiro is part of his art. Super neat. Super neat. I shouldn't even try to sing. I mean, I probably could if I put forward, like, thought and stuff for it. Our crew is splitting up like this. Oh boy, we're stuck with this goofus. Yeah, we've got defense to spare, don't worry. Be fine, we'll be fine. Yeah, there is definitely a relative lack of anything going on here. And I'm kind of stuck here in this, like, lost for words kind of state. I'm waiting for a thing to say, I guess. We are sort of reaching a part where things are feeling a little bit, a little overextended. It's just a game design thing. You know, and there you go, butts. That's kind of appropriate to this. You know, every RPG has those areas where things are just a little bit overly drawn out. Like, there's a couple too many of the same fights. Like, definitely there's just Basically, we're in Rock Tunnel right now. We'll put it that way. This is the Rock Tunnel. It's the ice cavern that I forgot the name of in Gold and Silver. It's the ice cavern in, well, like every Zelda game that has those, I guess. It's not an RPG series, but it's definitely still a series with ice caverns that can feel a little overlong. Reminds me, I haven't done a Zelda randomizer in a long time. Maybe that's something to pull out again at some point. Alright, so all of our enemies in this mission are assassins, which means that getting out Mozart is not a bad idea. And so, big guy, you are going in the back, and I'll put Mush up front, and I'm gonna sub Mr. Caesar out to put Hector in to let him get some bond points on Mr. Goatee back there. Yeah, okay, you're being a nerd about it. Let's keep going, buddy. On the other hand, we do get quite a lot of character development for Mr. Mozart here. That's a thing that's usually done pretty well, is that, like, rarity doesn't determine character importance in terms of plot arc or anything. Like, obviously there's a little bit of it, but it's not just like, oh, wow, let's talk about the character that you will never roll in a million years and will bankrupt yourself on whaling for, because they're so much more important than... No! This guy, who's, like, 1 star, is getting... He's getting a lot of plot. In later arcs, Arash gets a lot of plot, too, which, I mean, I guess it kind of fits. He's basically... There were card game analogies made to this a while ago. He's basically the lightning bolt of this game, so... That definitely would have to be someone who gets at least a little bit. Phantom gets another arc for himself. So there's a nice little investigation into characters at all levels. And I definitely like that about this game, because it's something that's not always done, to say the least. And I would admit that I would expect less of this game by a fairly wide margin, or at least just to put a lot of the more important characters at, like, the higher levels. Like, we have Sasaki Kojiro here, who is, of course, the assassin from the original Fate Stay Night. So, I mean, I'd expect him to at least be 3 or higher. Like, you'd have to pay money. You'd have to go into paid money / premium currency gacha to actually get him. And they didn't do that. There, I had something to talk about this time. Second fight, this is gonna be like just very same thing every time here. There will definitely be a little bit of tedium involved in this particular battle, just because there is no variety going on. And I don't have a whole lot that I can do right now to make it more interesting, guys. We just gotta keep plowing these werewolves. But, I'd say that came out wrong, but I've definitely heard about things that involve plowing werewolves, so I don't necessarily know that it's true that that came out wrong. I guess I can talk about one thing, is that most assassin-type enemies do have, as you might expect, I guess, a larger chance to inflict critical hits to your characters than people. And of course, their crit mechanics are like crit mechanics from most RPGs. Whereas the player characters' critical hits are based on those critical star things and hoping for RNG in a completely different way. Okay, we got a single nice 14,000 heat shield here. Should be able to do a good chunk of health here. But I don't think we were going to be able to kill this thing in one turn. So we'll be able to see this in case we haven't yet, which I don't think we have. Yeah, we haven't seen Requiem for Death yet because I've admittedly been just avoiding Mozart because he's not tremendously helpful. I'd like to apologize to anybody in the audience who's a Mozart fan. In this case, of me, the character, not necessarily of the arrangements created by him and performed by others. But yeah, he doesn't do a whole lot for me, is all. Rather take somebody with more utility if we're going to be taking story supports. Otherwise, I'll just take I think you're thinking of You're definitely thinking of Beethoven. That was Beethoven who was deaf. I almost said who cut his own ear off, but no, that's Van Gogh. That's not even the right medium. Oh my god. So yes, one of the other things is that you'll notice I'm not a fan of debuff-oriented supports very much. And we got to see there that Mozart's Noble Phantasm is just stat debuffs to the enemy and inflicts curse. There are a few exceptions. There's one very notable one that is tremendously, disgustingly powerful. But a lot of that is also for other reasons. If we get him, I'll go into it in depth if we get waiver. If not, I'll probably end up using him for support purposes and be able to discuss it then. He's really good as like a debuff-oriented support. There are a lot of very good buffing characters that I will use. Otherwise, I tend to go with whatever can do damage, and if it provides a good supporting debuff, then there you go. If I don't rush the enemy down, I'm going into tank mode. Although obviously, like, debuffs on skill use are very good. But those are much easier to just call upon when you need them. Oh my god, I've broken 20,000 dropped frames. I do not understand this. This is really, really annoying me. But we're gonna do a little bit more, I think, just to keep at it. Let's see what we got going on here. How much more of the map is there? It's still a fair chunk of this, so... Let's see. Quest 10. Alright. I'm gonna go through all the phases of this quest, and then I will round things out for the day after that, I think. Again, shorter streams, but, you know, if my internet connection is going to act like this, maybe I just need to stream earlier in the day or something. I was doing that before. I'll probably go back to it at some point, but of course, Alan is doing early streams too, so that's a bit of a throw-off for me. Excuse me. Alright, we got 2 servants to deal with here. And we're being interrupted. No, it's okay. You do you. I feel like I'm stepping on your feet if I stream at the same time you do. Especially if we have this level of audience crossover. Because, I mean, we got Fire Drake, we got you. We got your wife. Horos has been in here a couple of times. A couple other people. Lears came in here at least once. Oh, by the way, we got a couple of nerds that I've just been talking over and ignoring. Because they are nerds and I don't have hugely strong feelings about these two. Elizabeth is kind of just generally hard to like. And Kiyohime is one of the very few characters where interpretations of her just genuinely get much worse as the game goes on. Wow. Mozart out there being a real jerk. As they start calling each other reptiles. Good old reptile. Anyone else out there a reptile main in MK1? Yeah, I didn't think so. It's because you can't play as reptile in the first Mortal Kombat. I'm pretty sure you guys all knew that, but just in case, don't try to do it. It won't work. I'm fairly certain that the arcade machine will just start spitting coins back at you and just... That's like a reptile dysfunction. Wow. You know, I know that was... I will laugh at the easiest fucking jokes, dude. Oh my god. Alan, no, I think you mean Alan, yes. Actually, how about Alan, maybe? Can we get Alan, maybe, as our response there? I just realized I don't have my chatbot open this time, so I can't even be like, I feel like that needs to be quoted, and then realize, oh, that wouldn't have context. Because then everybody just comes back to it. Reptile dysfunction. I mean, it's a terrible pun, but aside from that... I mean, on the one hand, do you need an aside from that, but also... Maybe it would be nice, is all I'm saying. Speaking of reptiles, that guy in the back is kind of like a reptile, too, in his own way. Alright. I draw into a terrible hand to deal with this, but oh well. We get decent damage on this first turn. You know, I'm kind of tempted to just try and charge up Q Alter's meter all the way here. Does it not give... Oh, no, it does give some charge. Okay. To try and get him a full meter to show off his big ridiculous thing, because it's certainly something to see, I'll tell you that right now. Unfortunately, that's going to be very slow going, and we may not even be able to pull this off. That, however, is going to make things a lot easier for us. Actually, who am I kidding? I have a way that I can do this. I have a solution for this. We're going to use a command spell. So this is a mechanic that I haven't had a chance to explain yet. You have a maximum of 3 of these command spells, and you have 3 things that you can do with them. You can spend 1 to fill up one of your character's meters immediately, or give them 100 if it's a character that has enough levels in their thing that they can overcharge. Or you can use 1 to fully restore their health. Or, if you're defeated, you can use all 3 to fully revive your entire party. And they come back with full meters and everything, and it's going to be a thing that we have to do occasionally because some stuff is just... I'm not good at it. But we're not in a position where this is a big deal right now, and somebody just messaged me on Steam, and I'm not in a position where I want to respond to them right now because that's on that screen. I don't want to tell them, no, I'll do this some other time. So we're just going to go ahead and give this guy a quick instant fill just that way I can show this off. You don't even need to add extra dodges. And here's something I don't know how to pronounce. And the Japanese pronunciation is not going to help me either. Let's go in. Yeah, plus if you if he doesn't enunciate very much, we don't get a good, we don't get to hear that very good. Well, I got to show that off. He turns into a big old dragon and beats the crap out of somebody. It's kind of neat, I guess. I don't get to do that very often because, as you can tell, Q Alter does not fill his meter very fast at all. It's, like, well, grotesquely slow. Alright, quit chugging. Come on. Alright, so we've got more of this going on here. Do a quick switch to deal with the riders we have coming up. Get ourselves a cutscene. Yeah, that's about what I figured. Alright, so it's just the 2 complainers who are not going to cause anything for us whatsoever. That's fine. Is what it is. We're fine with that. Loading screens, however, well, yeah, they kind of stymie me a little bit here. Right. Throw on our dodges. As this chucklehead just gets an entire hand here. Yeah, it's kind of a pain, but on the other hand, it's usually not a big issue because you just run people over the old-fashioned way. And he's very, very, very hard to take down. Especially once you level this dodge ability all the way up to level 10. And it's on a 5-turn cooldown. So you can just abuse that pretty easily.
遅いな。
Hey, Kojiro, get
見せどころよな。
your freebie there. That's right. We get ourselves a nice handful of crits. I'm noticing that my frame rate in general is taking a hit right now. That is a little strange. I can't possibly be butting up against my computer's settings. Like,
行きます。
承知。
that's not a thing that should be happening. So it's kind of weird. I will probably take a second here to investigate in just a moment.
承知。
はい。
Because I have to keep taking breaks in the middle of this where I'm like, oh yeah, I said I'll get to this point, and then something starts acting a little fucky, and I gotta start poking at things and all this other thing and thing. Well, alright. Go for,
ああ、了解。ああ、
just do whatever is the most useful in general, I guess, which would include something like that. I definitely know the pain of being stuck on some things. 68, that's definitely, you're getting pretty far on that one.
了解。
行きます。
You're almost there. You're over halfway there. I definitely know that. Level scaling can be a little bit like that. I'm thinking back to the days of Phantasy Star Online, and on one of the forums, somebody being like, hey, I hit level 100, I'm halfway to the level cap, right? Because the level cap in PSO was 200, and somebody's like, it's closer to like 165 is halfway through the level. Oh, only 5 red. Those are kind of a pain to come by. The gold ones are obviously somewhat worse, but the Da Vinci event gave access to a pretty decent amount of those. Alright. Load in here. Come on. Yeah, I'm on. Yeah, something like that. Wow, that's a pretty steep, That's pretty steep. Alright, give me a second here. I'm going to see if I have any idea what's going on here with this. Be right back. Alright, well, I'll be why I've got 2 pings on Discord. Second. Chug unnecessarily, unduly. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure where I'm sitting at, but it seems like things are moving a little better, but that might just be because I'm sitting in the menu. Real quick, while I'm still in intermission mode, I guess you know what, I'll do this on screen real quick. I will grab this. Oh, there's my frame rate absolutely tanking it again. Let's see if we get anything out of these. I do try to keep these off screen because I said I would try to off screen as much of it as possible. And we got nothing huge. Disappointing. There's still a lot of characters that I haven't gotten just from the bronze tiers. I feel like my draws in that are particularly terrible on this account. Alright, so we're gonna get another thing. Just, oh no, we're fighting more dragons. In fact, we literally just got one line of dialogue for that cutscene. That's quite short. Obviously, but also that's kind of me going wow at it. Oh, you need the gallstones, right? Yeah. Those are a little tough to come by, to say, to put it nicely.
了解です。行きます。
On the other hand, I don't think I need I don't think I've used a lot of them. I don't think I have a whole lot of anything that needs them. So it's nice to not have to worry about that. Meanwhile, looks at everything else, becomes disappointed. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. And I think the God's Wine was added in Agartha too, right? Agartha. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm bad at pronunciation. So that's not really going to be easy to get outside of events either. At the very least, the gallstones are kind of obtainable elsewhere. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Ooh. That's not great. That's really not great.
見事な采配です。先輩。
Especially because I'm pretty sure that the gallstones come from I think they mostly come from the larger warthogs, so you gotta fight those things, and they suck so much. Oh, nice. Pretty good state to be in. Alright, so we're -1 on this mission in terms of plot supports, but we weren't really using the guy anyway. We're gonna go ahead and grab guy's name I forgot already, Munanori, and we're gonna put in Caesar as well. I think that this setup should get us somewhere. Alright, we gotta fight these two nerds, don't we? Yeah, of course they were ignoring us. Not surprised. Alright, time to fight these two. They should be pretty easy though, because obviously we're using a much stronger support. If I remember correctly, he's very arts oriented, so anything with a strong arts buff might not be a bad choice. Or alternately, just the standard as much meter to start the battle with as possible. He's pretty hardy, so it's less important to do that, but it wouldn't particularly hurt, basically. Let's go ahead and do this. You can probably do pretty solidly against Kikume here, damage-wise. Oh, not quite a one-turn kill, but getting there. All right.
行きます
どうだ
Go.
恋のビートドラゴンスケール恋のビートドラゴンスケールロッキュー
Yeah, just the amount of skill spam. That is an annoying thing about certain enemies. They will sit there, spam the same skill over and over, and you'll get some pretty annoying shit out of some of them. Like, honestly, for example, having 4 stacks of attack up is kind of ridiculous, but I've seen way worse. Enemies can just block you in ways that the game would never allow you to do.
見事な采配です先輩
It can be kind of frustrating sometimes. But we will definitely see way worse than that in the future than just, oh, somebody stacked that many attack buffs. I'm fully expecting, once we get to London, for there to be a couple of enemies that it's just a carnival of woes. Yeah, that's child's play. Again, looks at being stuck behind invulnerability on the enemy for 3 turns. Oh, sure you are. Of course, they're gonna sit here, they're gonna argue. Still have one more fight in this quest. Come on. Come on, guys. This, Not interested in a bunch of nerds like you. Oh, St. George. Yeah, he's in this storyline too. I actually forgot about that. The West. That's a bit of a pain, but at least they seem to have found him, so that's something. It's quite a shoulder piece he's got going on there. That's not as bad, except for the horseshoes. The horseshoes can be kind of a pain. I think Billy the Kid needs, like, around that much. And I'm mostly thinking about that because I recently just got 2 of his skills up to level 10. And have been using him as one of my budget single target archers. Because I can very easily, obviously, his meter filling skill is plus 50% at level 10. And we're going back over to this guy to wrap this one up here. Oh boy, that noise. Unfortunately, we don't get a chance to use him as a story ally, I don't think. So I don't really get a chance to describe like any of his finer points. Yeah. St. George is kind of considered to be one of the better budget tier tanks. He's very good. He has a skill that is... Well, most people refer to them as a taunt. In-game, I think it's called target focus. They basically make him the target that everybody wails on. He basically casts Follow Me if you've done any Pokemon stuff. And that gives him a pretty sizable defensive buff. And also, he is quite useful... He is extremely useful, again, for Camelot, for reasons of basically trying to solo that entire singularity using support Heracles or Emiya Alter. Because you can just use him and... God, I almost said Spartacus. No, Leonidas. And just have them... tank hits for a few turns until they die, and then leave Cullen or Heracles soloing, and they have a lot of survival abilities at their disposal. So yeah, we will probably see a lot of that when I actually get to that point. I will probably be doing that a lot just to avoid as much of the pain of that section of the game as possible. And also because I know my luck at this point, there are a lot of things I absolutely will not have. And here's Sanson saying some kind of creepy shit. Again, I told you he's just a Danganronpa character. Saying a bunch of weird things with a lot of weird sexual connotations. Might be a word implying that it's a little more veiled. It kind of is not. Esther of Midrash is very good if you have a lot of arts related support, is my understanding. Which is why I ended up picking her up. Because I was like, I have a better... I have a very good arts saber already because I have Void Shiki. And I kind of felt that Thomas Edison was a little too gimmicky as a... Yeah, there's also that. I think that a large part of it is because they would get too much of a meter refund as a general rule, if they, especially if they had like single target arts, noble phantasms. That's generally what I hear from people, is that it would be too much. It would be too easy. I actually was just having that discussion earlier with somebody about how, by all accounts, by all accounts, Emiya was supposedly, regular Emiya, his Unlimited Blade Works was supposed to be arts, judging by pre-release screenshots, and that it was changed before he came out, and he still has a very arts-oriented kit to start with, even though it looks like, oh, this doesn't make any sense anymore. But it was kind of because it would be very easy to loop with that setup. And yeah, Ilya has single target, I think, but yeah, if it's Buster, it's not going to give you back very much. Even with Overkill, it's not going to be a refund is not going to be the huge issue there. Done here. Alright, clear them out, guys. And there we go. Nice! Glad to hear you're getting some serious work there. And we hit Mastery level 9 and our Mystic Code leveled up, so that mostly just going to pull down the cooldowns on our stuff, but that's still pretty good. I gotta wait till Monday. Yeah. Still good to be getting some forward progress there. Yeah, that's a mechanic that they ended up not using very much. It was pretty much just a few characters in the Epic of Ruminate arc. I'm sort of two minds about it, because I sort of understand why they would not continue to do that. But also, that sort of plays into how the series originally was, is that you're not supposed to know the true names of any of these characters because it gives an advantage to the other person, and then, like, basically the entire storyline is just everybody going like, oh, hi, I'm so-and-so, nice to meet you. Oh, hi, I'm Benjamin Franklin. You know, and normally you'd have to figure it out like, oh, that guy has a kite with a key on it. And I totally have read this story before when I was in a history class in grade school about the kite and the key. And yeah, that's Benjamin Franklin. But instead they just give you their names basically straight out. And yeah, like I said, kind of two minds about it, because I do understand not having to be like, oh, here's class title of so-and-so for everybody, and that would slow things down quite a bit. And there would be some characters whose names would be kind of locked behind event stuff and all these other issues. But I do kind of like it for the purposes of one arc. I just don't like how much like uncapping them and stuff is basically story locked. Oh, we're completely ignoring what's going on here. But, oh well. Again, I would say just watch this in an archive, but the frame rate is kind of... Well, frame rate, by that I mean, in terms of the stream, has been kind of unimpressive tonight. I don't know, again, what's the deal, if it's just a, it's a connection issue, to Twitch or whatever. Yeah, there's definitely quite a few that would be a little bit on the outlandish side. That is absolutely correct. Alright, so we finished that quest, and as I said, I was gonna cut off for the night there, but I'm gonna go ahead and go in here, and I'm gonna just do one singular set of 10 draws here, just to round things out. Let's see if we can get anybody pretty interesting. And normally I was gonna be like, I'll do a 10er at the end of each story arc, or once I clear each event story, but we'll do this one a little bit early and see what happens here. Yeah, Ivan is like not even humanoid in a lot of ways. A lot of ways, I say. Jeez. I mean, look at that guy. Alright, so we get another one of those. Oh, there's Lu Bu, who was mentioned a couple of streams ago, I think. There's our first of the Hassans. There's finally a decent writer. Oh, there's Inshun. We get to meet this guy. Lu Bu, who apparently is just straight up a mecha. That's actually kind of rad.
すべてすべてあなたの御心のままに私はすべてを捧げますこの体もこの心もすべて
Hassan of the Serenity, who is rather creepy by Hassan standards here.
物好きな人ですね
We get the Fate Stay Night Rider, Medusa. And we get the new Lancer from Shimosa here, Mr. Hosoin Inshun. He's a pretty interesting dude in terms of play style. I haven't really used him much, but I kind of want to check him out and see if I can run a setup that'll work with him. I'm sure that there's some stuff I can do with that. Anyway, unfortunately, no 5 stars or even 4 stars there, but real quick, before we go, we can do one thing here. Actually, maybe we can do a little more than one thing, I guess. Oh, I didn't even notice that I drew a second Ushiwakamaru here. We'll go ahead and upgrade her thing here. Let's try not to focus on this this design decision here. It is one that exists. It looks very uncomfortable in a lot of ways. But mostly I was going to say we can get Paracelsus another NP level. Unfortunately, we are probably not going to do a whole lot with Paracelsus for a decent length of time. He gets an upgrade sometime around July that will add a lot of usefulness to him, but until then, he's kind of underwhelming. And we've got one last one we can do here, and then I will head off for the evening. And once again, thank you all for coming out to watch this. I'll see you next time, hopefully with much less of a time gap between streams this time, and hopefully without so many frame drops. I'm really, as you can tell, quite bothered by that. We broke over 52,000 dropped frames on this. What are you doing, Twitch? More importantly, what are you doing, Metronet, my ISP? Alright, later guys. Let me remember where the OBS window is. There we go. Alright, now seriously, later guys.